Every morning you wake up at the same time. You walk the same path. You enter through the same door. You sit down at your desk and start working. Hours pass, days blend together, weeks fly by, and one day you realize no one mentions your name, no one asks for your opinion, no one looks at your project, as if you weren't even there, but you are there. You are there every day. Maybe you are the hardest worker, maybe you put in the most overtime, maybe you make the fewest mistakes, but you're invisible. This isn't just about you. It's a reality millions of people face. They go to work every day, do their jobs, fulfill their responsibilities, and they live like ghosts. So why? Why do some people become the talk of the town within 3 months while you've been stuck in the same place for 3 years? Why do some people become candidates for promotion after half a day's work, while you're ignored despite working full days? The answer will surprise you. Because the issue isn't how much you work. The issue is how you appear. And in this video, I'll explain exactly that to you. I'll show you why you're invisible, the psychology behind it, and more importantly, how to turn this situation around. But here's the interesting part. A samurai discovered this secret 400 years ago. Miyamoto Musashi. He fought 63 duels and never lost. Then, at the end of his life, he retreated to a cave and wrote this knowledge down in a book, the Book of 5 Rings. That book wasn't just about fighting techniques. It contained the formula for being visible in life, for strategic presence, for others to notice you. And today, I'll translate that formula for you into the modern business world. Because the principles that worked on the battlefield 400 years ago still work in the office today. But first, let me tell you a story. From 16th century Japan. Listen carefully to this story. In the 1600s, there was a painter in Japan named Hasegawa Tohaku. He was incredibly talented. His brushstrokes were perfect, his compositions were striking. But he had a problem. No one knew who he was. At that time, the most famous painter in Japan was Kano Eitoku. He was the painter of the court, the lords, and the wealthy. Everyone wanted works from the Kano school. Hasegawa, meanwhile, worked quietly in a corner, on his own. Years went by like this. Hasegawa was creating better works, but no one was seeing them. Kano was training less talented students, but their works were hanging in palaces. Until one day, Hasegawa realized the problem wasn't with the work. The problem was visibility. At that moment, he understood he was doing something wrong and needed to make changes. And he changed his strategy. He knocked on the door of a temple. He spoke to the chief priest of Daisen Temple. "Give me a chance," he said. "I'll create something for your temple, for free. No strings attached. Just let my work stand in your temple." The chief priest agreed. Hasegawa painted pine trees on the temple walls in 6 panels. He named it Shorinzu Byobu. He used ink and gold leaf. It was a minimalist, powerful, unforgettable work. And everyone who visited the temple saw those walls. Lords saw them. Merchants saw them. Samurai saw them. Members of the imperial family saw them. Hasegawa did not become famous overnight, but slowly his name spread. Who painted those pictures in Daisen? Hasegawa Tohaku. Who is he? Go and see. Within a decade, Hasegawa had grown to rival the Kano school. Today, he is remembered as one of Japan's greatest artists. So what's the lesson here? Hasegawa's talent didn't change. His works didn't change. The only thing that changed was where he stood. He moved his work from a studio where no one saw it to a temple where everyone could see it. Right now, you're in that workshop, and I'll show you. You don't need a sword to break down walls. Strategy is enough. What have they told you so far? Work hard, and you'll be noticed. Do a good job, and you'll get promoted. Success speaks for itself. All lies. Accept this truth. Doing a good job isn't enough to get noticed. It never has been. It never will be. Why? Because your manager attends 5 meetings a day, reads 20 emails, reviews 10 reports, tracks the performance of 30 people. And when they go home at night, only 3 things remain in their mind: the urgent, the noisy, and the strategic. Where are you? If you quietly do your job and quietly leave, you're background noise. Not important, not urgent, not loud, not strategic. You're just there, functional, replaceable, invisible. Now I'm going to tell you something, and listen carefully. Your value isn't measured by the work you do. Your value is measured by how people perceive and feel about the work you do. Perception is everything. An experiment was conducted. 2 groups of employees were given the same project. The first group completed the project quietly and delivered it. The second group shared small updates at every step, raised issues, made solutions visible, and finally delivered it. Both projects were of the same quality, but the second group's performance evaluation was 40% higher. Why? Because leaders saw the process. They saw the effort. They saw the challenges. The outcome was the same, but the journey was visible. That's the problem. You work from morning to night, but no one sees it. You solve problems, but no one knows. You create value, but no one notices. And then one day you're surprised. I worked so hard. Why did they get the promotion? Because they made their work visible. You didn't. Now I'll show you how visibility works, because it's not a secret, it's an anatomy. The human brain makes 50,000 decisions a day, but 95% of those decisions are unconscious, so even your manager isn't aware of why they remember one person more than another. There are 3 factors: repetition, context, emotion. Repeat. The more the brain sees something, the more important it considers it. This is called the mere exposure effect. So if you see someone once a week, you'll remember them less than someone who sees them every day. Simple. So what are you doing? You're sitting at your desk, working quietly. You're not talking to anyone. You're silent in meetings. You send an email and forget about it. Result: no repetition, no visibility. Context. If the brain associates a person with success, that person becomes valuable. For example, when someone asks, "Who did the last project?" does your name come up? Or do they say, "Oh, it was someone from that team"? If your name isn't mentioned alongside an achievement, you'll remain in the employee category. Emotion. People remember with their emotions, not their logic. They remember you based on how you made them feel. How do you make your manager feel? Safe, stressed, indecisive, relaxed? If a manager sees you and thinks, "This person solves problems," then you are valuable. If they think, "What is this person doing?" then you are invisible. Now ask yourself, how do you manage these 3 factors? Most people don't manage them at all. They do their job, go home, and then they ask, why don't they notice me? Because visibility doesn't just happen on its own. It's created. In the comments, write how you manage these 3 factors. Let's discuss it together. Now let me tell you another story. A true story. Jake was an analyst at a consulting firm in New York. He was at his desk from morning until late at night. He was producing projects. He was writing reports. He was solving problems. And nothing was happening. One day they were in a meeting. The manager was talking about a project. "Who did this project?" he asked. Jake was about to stand up. Then his friend next to him said, "I did." That project was Jake's. He had done it from start to finish. But his friend had prepared the final presentation, and he had shown it to the manager. Result? His friend became the project owner. Jake was just one of the team. That day, Jake realized something. Doing the work isn't enough. You have to own the work, and the way to own it is to be visible. From that day on, Jake changed his strategy. And within 6 months, everything changed. What did he do? Something simple. At the end of every project, he wrote a summary of results email, 2 paragraphs. What we did, what we learned, what we will do next. And he sent it not only to his manager, but to everyone involved. No one read it the first time. The second time, one person said, "Nice summary." The third time, his manager used Jake's summary in a meeting. The fourth time, they called Jake for another project. By the sixth month, Jake got a promotion. What changed? His job? No. His visibility. Jake was now visible and known. Now I'll give you concrete strategies. These aren't theoretical. They're real, actionable, and effective tactics. Strategy 1. Sign your name. Put your name on every piece of work. If you're writing a report, add a short prepared by note at the end. If you're giving a presentation, put your name on the first slide. If you're sending an email, include your area of expertise in your signature. Why? Because a signature reinforces your presence. Every time they see it, they see your name. And they remember how much effort you put into this work and the value you added to it. Strategy 2. Share the process. Make not only the result visible, but also the process. When starting a project, post an update saying, "I'm starting this project this week." In the middle, say, "We encountered this difficulty. We are trying this solution." At the end, say, "We got this result. This is what we learned." Why? Because the process shows how much effort you put in. Showing only the result isn't enough. People don't realize how much work you put in just by looking at the result. If you show them, that's when you become visible. Strategy 3. Make others visible. When a team project is finished, say, "Rachel, Mike, and I did this project." Mention their contributions. Why? Because when you make others visible, they remember you, and others start talking about you. This is the most powerful visibility strategy. Get others to talk about you. They will talk, and you will become visible. Strategy 4. Create silent value. Identify a problem. Solve a problem that no one wants but everyone needs. But don't tell anyone while you're solving it. Finish the solution, then share it. Why? Because people remember problem solvers. And when you solve a problem and say, "That's solved," everyone is surprised. When did this person do that? And they start to remember you. Why did I say this here when talking about sharing the work you do constantly? Because it wasn't your job. It was a favor you did for others without expecting anything in return. Kindness is done in secret. But the more secret it is, the more effective it becomes. Strategy 5. Ask, don't tell. You need to speak up in meetings. But how should you speak? Most people state their opinions. "I think we should do this." Fine, but it gets forgotten. Instead, ask questions. What kind of strategy are we considering for this issue? What resources do we have to solve this problem? Why? Because the person who asks questions is the person who thinks, and the person who thinks is valuable. But be careful. These strategies don't yield results overnight. Let me tell you something. Visibility is logarithmic. It grows very slowly at first, then suddenly explodes. Nothing will happen in the first month. Maybe not in the second month either. Maybe not in the third month either. But in the fourth month, something will start to change. In the fifth month, others will mention your name. In the sixth month, the manager will include you in projects. And when you look back a year later, you won't even remember that you were once invisible. But the critical thing here is patience. Most people try for 2 weeks, see no results, and give up. It's not working anyway, they say, but it takes time to work. Miyamoto Musashi had a principle. Today's victory belongs to yesterday's self. What does that mean? Everything you gain today is the result of the small steps you took yesterday. You're taking the steps toward becoming visible today, but you'll see the results in the future. Be patient. Let me tell you another story. Elena was a software developer at a tech company in Michigan. She was an amazing coder. Her code quality was perfect. She never had any bugs, but she had been in the same position for 5 years. Less talented people on the same team had become team leaders. Less experienced people had been assigned to projects. Elena, however, remained the reliable person in the background. One day she asked her mentor, "Why can't I get promoted?" Her mentor replied, "Because you're not visible." Elena was surprised. "But I work every day. The code is mine. The system is mine." The mentor said, "Yes, but do your managers know that? Who sees your code? Who appreciates your solutions? When you finish something, does anyone notice?" Elena fell silent, because the answer was no. The mentor gave her a challenge. For 1 month, write a technical note every week. Describe a problem you solved, explain a technology you used, share something you learned, and send it to the team. Elena hesitated. "Won't that be like bragging?" The mentor said, "No, this is sharing knowledge. If you share your knowledge, you stop being just a coder and become a teacher. And teachers become leaders." Elena tried it. The first week, she wrote a technical note. "This week, I tackled these issues and spent this much time on them, achieving this much impact. And as a result, I got a system that's this much better. How did I do it?" And she explained the solution. 2 people thanked her. The second week, she wrote another note. 5 people read it. In the third week, her manager said in a meeting, "Are you reading Elena's notes? They're very helpful." In the fourth week, another team began consulting with her. By the end of the 6th month, Elena was promoted to the position of technical lead. What changed? Elena's code quality? No. Elena's visibility? "But I know. You have questions in your head right now. I don't like putting myself forward. Doesn't that seem selfish? My work should be enough. Why should I try to be visible?" Let me tell you something. These fears are normal, but they're wrong. Making yourself visible isn't selfish. If you're creating value and people aren't seeing it, it's not just your loss, it's the organization's loss. Think about it. Is someone else experiencing the problem you solved? Yes. Could someone else use the solution you found? Yes. Then if you don't share it, you're hoarding that knowledge. Visibility is sharing. It is claiming ownership. It is providing value. And know this, being introverted is not an excuse for being invisible. Some of the world's most effective leaders are introverted, but they also manage their visibility. How? By writing, by giving presentations, by talking to small groups, by finding a way that suits them. You need to find a way that suits you. If speaking at meetings makes you uncomfortable, be visible by writing. If writing tires you, be visible through small conversations. If socializing is difficult, be visible through your work. What matters is not the method, but the result. But be careful. You may fall into some traps while trying to be visible. Pitfall 1. Over-visibility, sharing everything. Speaking at every meeting. Responding to every email. This creates noise, not value. People will label you as the chatterbox. Solution: be strategic. Only be visible where you add value. The rest is silence. Pitfall 2. Begging for recognition. I did it. I worked hard. I handled it. These statements come across as defensive and weak. Solution: change your language of ownership. Instead of, "We completed this project," say, "We solved this challenge in this project." Focus on the outcome and the process, not the ego. Trap 3. Overshadowing others. If you belittle others to make yourself look good, you lose in the long run. People will see you as self-centered. Solution: shine a light on others too. Say, "We did this project with Steve and his contribution was this." That way you gain visibility and respect. There's a principle in Musashi's Dokodo. Don't cling to the past. What does that mean? Don't blame yourself for being invisible in the past. Don't regret missing opportunities in the past. The past is over. From today onward, establish a new strategy. Just because you were invisible a year ago doesn't mean you have to be invisible today. Just because you weren't noticed 5 years ago doesn't mean you won't be noticed from now on. Every moment is a new beginning, and now is your moment to start. Now think, where do you want to be a year from now? In which projects do you want your name to be mentioned? In which meetings do you want your opinion to be sought? What position do you want to advance to? Set that goal. And then, starting today, build your visibility strategy. First step, share something small today, something you learned, a problem you solved, an idea you thought of, an email, a message, a note, just one step. Then take another step tomorrow, another step the next day, and keep going. 6 months from now, when you look back, you'll see you're no longer invisible. People will be talking about you. Managers will be asking for your opinion. Opportunities will be knocking on your door. And then you'll understand, the problem was never about talent. The problem was about visibility. Throughout this video, I've told you a lot. I explained Hasegawa's temple strategy. I explained Elena's transformation. I explained the anatomy of visibility. I gave you 5 concrete strategies. But now comes the most important part. What will you do? Because every piece of information in this video is useless if you don't take action today. The statistics say this: 8 out of every 10 people who watch this video will do nothing. They'll say, "Nice video." They'll say, "Very true," and they'll go on with their lives. 3 years from now, they'll still be in the same place. They'll still be invisible. They'll still be asking, "Why not me?" Don't be one of those 8 people. Now I'm giving you a challenge. After watching this video, share something today. Let it be something small, a piece of knowledge you've learned, a problem you've solved, an idea you've thought of, and write in the comments, "I shared." Just 2 words. But let those 2 words be your commitment. Because when you commit, you follow through. When you follow through, it becomes a habit. When it becomes a habit, your identity changes. And when your identity changes, visibility comes naturally. Musashi once said, "Knowing the path and walking the path are 2 different things." Now you know the path. All that's left is to walk it. If this video added value to you, hit the like button. If you want others to see this message, share it. And subscribe, because I share these kinds of strategies every day. But most importantly, take action. Today. Now. Because when you look back a year from now, you'll see that this moment was the one that changed everything. Be visible. The time has come. See you in the next video. And remember, the battle is won the moment you become visible. Now go and make yourself visible.